Hi, Julia Deane here with Culinary Works. Welcome to my kitchen. Everybody knows Thanksgiving is coming up, so I wanted to talk to you guys about making a turkey broth or turkey stock. And if anybody's wondering what's the difference between broth and stock, the broth is made with just like meat and vegetables. The stock is made from actual bones. So today we're going to be using the actual turkey bones. So now you're saying, okay, why do I need turkey stock for Thanksgiving? Well, number one, the best and most important reason is for the gravy. So after you have your turkey that's cooked, you have all those wonderful pan drippings, you're gonna make your roux with the flour and the fat, then you're gonna add your turkey stock into that to help create your beautiful gravy. In addition to that, you can also use it for your stuffing, because in your stuffing you need butter, and then you're also gonna need some kind of liquid. So it's great to use the broth for that. You can use it for when you're basting your turkey. Everybody loves to baste the turkey, right? That's part of the, kind of holiday fun. So you can just take a piece of cheesecloth and you can wet that with broth and butter and lay it over your turkey, or just take your little ladle into your broth and then pull your oven out, put it all over the turkey so it just, the top doesn't dry out and the skin stays nice and crisp. So those are just a couple examples of how you could do that with your broth and your stock. I just kind of use the words interchangeably because essentially it's pretty much the same. Now, I want to talk to you about how to kind of get this process done. Everybody knows that they've been to my classes at all my events. I go to ShopRite all the time, right? I'm a ShopRite girl. So with that being said, I bought some ShopRite turkey legs over here. You guys can kind of take a look at those. You can see, right? I did brown these ahead of time. I baked them in the oven a little bit. You can put them in raw, but I prefer to have them brown a little bit because I think it's just gonna make the broth a lot more flavorful, a little bit more rich. So you see those are here. I'll bring those back into this segment in a minute. In here we have some nice cold water. And with the cold water, we're gonna be going ahead to add our standard mirepoix here. So we have our celery, our carrots, our onion, leek, parsley, peppercorns, and bay leaf. Typically, you're gonna have 2 times your onion here, as you can see, to 1 time your celery and your carrots. So you don't really have to measure. This is kind of just your standard kind of visual amount that you would typically use. The water is nice and cold, so you can go ahead and start to add things in. You want the water to be cold because you want to cook everything from the inside out. If you were to cook everything starting with hot water, what happens is it cooks it from the outside in, which you don't want. A perfect example of that, and here's a little Thanksgiving holiday tip for you, a little bonus for you, is that your mashed potatoes. So say if you're at your Thanksgiving dinner and they're beginning to cook the mashed potatoes and you walk over and the water is hot, you say, oh no, I learned. You cook the mashed potatoes in cold water. Okay, so that way what happens with the mashed potatoes is that if you're cooking with cold water, it'll start cooking them from the inside out. If you start in hot water, the outside of the potato chunks is gonna get soggy and mushy before the inside is done. So you're gonna end up with a very inconsistent, kind of lumpy and not great mashed potatoes. So the same applies for the broth. We put in our ingredients like I already mentioned to you. And then we have our cooked turkey legs, which you saw here. Those are gonna go in, just this as well. And we're gonna go ahead and add all these little drippings here. Those are also gonna go in. You definitely want all that additional flavor to go in there. You are going to bring this to a boil. So I'll turn it up on high, bring it to a boil. And a boil means, lots of bubbling water, right? And then after it boils, you're going to just let it sit, let it simmer. And a simmer means a little bit of bubbles coming out here and there. You don't need a ton of bubbles, but just a little bit here and there, so it will start to reduce and the flavors will all start to concentrate. Now I'm gonna show you, we have some already going over here. So let me take a peek of that for you. Okay. So you see, this is already reduced because you can see kind of the water line here already, right? See that? You can see that's kind of where it started. So it's already reduced about an inch, inch and a half. And you see it kind of looks a little bit cloudy, but that's all that is just a little bit of the impurities coming out from the meat and the bones and everything else. All you have to do is take your skimmer, as you can see here, right? I'm skimming it, see what kind of gets left on the skimmer here. You could use a slotted spoon for this as well. Both of them work perfectly. And then kind of to finish up, what you would do is you're going to, this is called a chinois. You could also just use any kind of strainer that you have. You just want to make sure it has thin enough holes here. This is not hot, so I think I'm okay picking this up here. So you'll see it's going to be this great golden color. It's going to look like you just want to drink it. Actually, my son, his favorite thing when I make broth is to cook the broth with some pastini or some stars or ditalini, anything, and heat that up. So here you go. Take a look. How lovely does that look? I'm just gonna taste it for you, actually. Let's see. Let's give a little quick taste here. Delicious, not salty. The only time I added salt was just to the turkey legs when I cooked them. But other than that, you're gonna control your salt when you make all your other ingredients. Again, I hope this is helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Julia Deane, culinaryworks.com. Remember, it's all in the experience.